Greetings, Missouri Mid-South. One of the funny things about ministry, as is the case with many public-facing careers, is that most of the work actually happens behind the scenes. In order to make the public-facing part happen well, there's a ton of planning and preparation and prayer that has to happen in private. In my early days in conference ministry, I had a colleague who would sometimes speak about the unfair expectation that clergy should be quivering masses of availability, and how we need to help clergy and lay leaders understand the need for good boundaries and the occasional no when it comes to taking time to prepare for worship or meetings, when it comes to preserving Sabbath days and vacation time, when it comes to having nights without meetings and being home for family routines in the evening, when it comes to the expectation that we should be visibly out in the community and simultaneously responding to every single email right away and answering our phones 24/7 and making visits in homes and hospitals all the time. In conference ministry, that same expectation translates to the idea that the conference, meaning the conference staff, even those who work part-time, should be everywhere at once. So much happens over Zoom now, and COVID lockdowns didn't help matters. But it's the case that nearly everywhere I go in this conference, I hear some variation of, "We haven't had a visit from the conference in years." And sometimes that's true. The realities of the distance and the need for intense time and attention when a church is in crisis combine to mean that we don't get to visit some churches as often as we'd like. It shouldn't be the case that a congregation only sees the conference staff when there's an emergency, but often that is how we have to allocate our resources. So I'm really happy to be able to share that this upcoming week, I will be on the road visiting our churches in Arkansas, where I haven't been able to visit yet since I started nearly 16 months ago. I'll also be attending the installation of Reverend Lorraine Senaceros, the new conference minister in Kansas, Oklahoma, to bring greetings and fellowship on behalf of the Missouri Mid-South Conference to our neighbors and partners in wider church ministry. Being available to our congregations in the far corners of our geography means windshield time and face-to-face time, and it means less computer time, so I will be a little harder to contact this week. I'm telling you all this for an important reason. When we hear from congregations about concerns that their pastor isn't in the office or isn't out in the community or isn't meeting some other expectation about their perceived availability, that's an indication that there's been a breakdown in trust somewhere. Because someone perceives that the pastor is not available, they believe that their pastor isn't doing their job. And often the pastor is doing their job, and that's why they're not available. I'm aware that trust in the conference is still a little shaky sometimes, although I am hearing feedback indicating that trust levels are improving. One of my goals for this year is to connect more with pastors and church leaders and other clergy who haven't felt a strong connection to the conference lately or haven't had a visit. I'm working to strengthen our mutual trust in one another, and that can only be done with building relationship over time. But here's the thing, I can't be everywhere at once, and I can't know that you're feeling distant or forgotten if you don't tell me. Invite me to worship with you. Invite me to your events. If I can be there, I will be. If Damien can be there, he will be. If we can't be there, that doesn't mean we don't like you or don't care about you. It just means that someone else invited us first and we can't be everywhere at once. This week, I will be in Springdale and Fayetteville and in Little Rock and Conway. Next week, I'll be in St. Louis and St. Charles. A few weeks ago, I was in Kansas City. I still need to schedule some time down in Springfield, and I'm hoping to get back to Memphis again sometime this fall or winter. There's a lot of geography to cover, a lot of people to connect with, and plenty of time to plan ahead and make it all happen. Let me know when your anniversaries are, when your special events are, and I'll see what I can do. I would love to be there.